So I just finished the demo, and for Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, thoughts and feelings. Will I buy the game? Probably not. Nah, definitely not. um, it's probably just because wildly overpriced for a 2D platforming action game, and it's a genre that is abundant in games. Absolutely overabundant, really. There's so many 2D action platform games. It's crazy, and they've been making them since, well, Castlevania, Metroid, and yeah, they never stopped. So the entry, the hurdles to entry, barriers to entry are low, and for independent developers, they can make these sorts of games, and they don't find them as challenging as 3D style games naturally. And in this case, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown doesn't do a lot wrong. To be honest, I think it does pretty much everything right. It doesn't make any mistakes, and I think for me, definitely more an issue of just genre and it not being anything spectacular or not drawing me in as much. Maybe it's that. The characterization, just in the demo though, they don't want to spoil the story, so I can understand them holding it back a bit. But having said that, the demo is to sell the game. So from the demo, I don't feel like I want to know what happens next. I don't really care about the main character or the world. So that could just be me being cynical. So yeah, if you try the demo for yourself, of course, make up your own mind as always. But you compare it to like Blasphemous and the nature of the world in that and the different sorts of style, and like I'd compare every 2D platforming puzzle game, action game with Abe's Odyssey and Abe's Exodus back in the day. And for me, those are peak. Their ability to ground you in the world and give you straight up motivation for proceeding through it at every turn, giving you a purpose of saving the Mudokons and keeping them people alive and saving the people. So you're always doing the grand purpose every step of the way. And I felt like the puzzling nature of that, it did a really good job, and the atmosphere and the feeling of fear and the threat was always constant. So here we're much more, I suppose, shut your brain off a little bit, and then you just sort of work your way through. And I can't imagine it's a great game to watch. I watch other people play this one. Again, it's got multiple difficulty settings, so that's good. But maybe it'd be better if it didn't have any choices and just had one difficulty. I feel like this game would benefit enormously from just having one choice, and then everyone would be able to say, "Oh, I beat it this boss," and they go, "Oh, I beat that boss. That was really hard." Or you'd have that shared experience. Because without that, I don't really know. I don't know. It's just the main character is Sargon. Sargon? I think that's the only character I can remember. Everything else just sort of fades. And I only just did it, so it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I can't recommend you buying the game, which is, I'd wait. Like any Ubisoft game, naturally you wait for sales. I don't think you're going to miss anything, and I don't think this isn't a game that feels like anyone could spoil for you, because you still have to go through it yourself in terms of the solving the puzzles and getting through the traversal areas and that sort of stuff, and winning the combat encounters and beating the bosses and things. But it's like, I don't feel this is a game that will lose any value over time, and maybe when it's 50% off, it'd be fine. A good game, I mean, it's not a bad game at all. I'm being a little bit harsh, and more just the world building that they purposely don't do because it's the demo, I understand. But at the same time, what is the function of a demo? Let's just see what the game is like. In this case, the combat is nothing unbelievable. It's very competent, very solid, no doubt. It makes sense. It's quite logical. The hitboxes and things are all good, and the action, the parry system, I think, is nice. Although some enemies, it just sort of doesn't seem to work, or it's just me being terrible. Yeah, The verticality in combat can be tricky with the flying enemies, but I suppose he's just encouraged to use your ranged weapon, which is got enough shots. You're not too worried about that. You have a hold down returning ranged weapon, so if you have more time, you can use that. Yeah, there's enough variety in the traversal, just in the demo, the traversal puzzles. I suppose it's just the question of motivation, and do they inspire you to keep playing and to progress and all that sort of stuff. Which, for a game that isn't cheap, for a 2D platforming action game, it's definitely overpriced. So, they're going to try and sell you the premium edition and things like that. Classic Ubisoft. But I just wait for a discount. Unless you can get like a physical copy cheaper, which no doubt you could. That might be a good incentive. But yeah, definitely wait for a discount. No rush. No rush here. But yeah. I mean, the UI looks stupid. The UI doesn't match the game. It's kind of weird. Typical Ubisoft. And there's not a lot of options in terms of accessibility and things. So let's go to the menu and I'll show you what I mean. So we have subtitles. We've got sound. We don't have a lot of options. No assisted jumping or any sort of accessibility things, which is odd for a Ubisoft title. They're slightly better than that usually. But yeah. Yeah, give it a go. You never lose anything trying demos out. See how you feel about it. If you feel some sort of incredible pull to play the game, good for you. As for me, I've played a lot of 2D side-scrolling action games recently, and it's a genre that I hold. Let me just get the bloody music off. It's a genre I hold in high esteem from my past experiences back on PlayStation Buddy 1 and Nintendo 64 and before. Back at the start, back to Mario, Super Mario. Oh god, it's been so long. But yeah, so I do hold the game itself, that genre, in high esteem, but this doesn't stand out as anything particularly special to me. That's just me, my perspective. Maybe you see it differently. You try the demo. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Will you pre-order the game? Again, never recommend pre-ordering. It's always a bad idea. Obviously, Ubisoft want you to pre-order. They're obsessed. They love that. The game's out on the 15th. It's the 13th at the time of this review. I've seen the other recommendations from people who played the game. What's his name? Skill Up and that, talking about how good they think the game is. And I'm sure they played longer. They probably did the boss battles and things like that. But, yeah, I'm not spending so much money on side-scrolling action platform games. Not at this time, Jesus. But yeah, tell me what you think in the comments. I've been Frosty510. This is my impressions, reflections on this demo. My recommendation is that you wait for a discount, or just, if you don't like the genre, because if you don't like the genre, just don't even bother with the game, to be honest. You could try the demo for 5 minutes. That'll be enough for you. If you've moved on, that's fine. I mean, the Mario games are still really popular and they're the same thing, but they do it better. More thematic, I suppose, is the point. And then we had this strange clash of the UI versus the game's content, and any of the characters being memorable, they can't show that in the demo, but from what I saw, it was like, very much vanilla Ubisoft. So yeah, solid, but I'm not intrigued or enthused, so I won't be buying the game. No. Even if it's on discount, probably not. Nah, probably not. Yeah. All right then. Catch you around. This on PlayStation 5 as well, so no issues with performance. Just before I go, no issues with frame rate or anything like that. Seems fine. And then if you need 1,000 and 1 billion frames, whatever, up to you. But for me, yeah, it doesn't bother me. Yeah. I'll catch you next time. So Frosty 10. See ya.